I sense something elusive. Stay a while and listen. Well met. You are not prepared. This better be good. Existence is mysterious.
Loud and clear.
Hello there.
Greetings, traveler, and welcome to the Recluse.
Welcome to episode 207 of the Blue Recluse. My name is Martin Larsen, and you're listening to the podcast about everything Blizzard. It's Sunday, October 7th, 2017. Full year 2018. We're not going back, we're not time traveling. This is not an alternative universe. It's 2018. I didn't misspeak, it was totally planned. Hi Tom, you're back.
I'm back in the bar, kind of wondering why right now.
We need you.
We need you, man. Yeah, back. I've been traveling around. I'm in Canada right now. It's Thanksgiving in Canada today, so I'd like to give thanks by saying, I'll come back sometime during the show to think of something I'd like to give thanks for you guys. Back, and hello. It's good to see you guys.
What a comeback.
Happy to have you back, I guess. Also, Michael, you're still here. You didn't go anywhere. You are solid as a rock.
Yes, I feel like I should have gone. Like, the moment that intro started, I feel like I should have just walked out the front. But, you know, we're not allowed to take our drinks to go and drink it on the street, so I figured I might as well stay.
I'm liking the new view today, Michael. If you're
every
an
now
audio
and then,
listener,
yeah.
You can't see Michael's view, but usually every week we get to see his closet. But now he seems to have switched the camera on, and we can see his bed. We can see
where the magic happens.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say that. I didn't want to.
No, you know, every now and then you need a different perspective on life, and a little camera change just helps out.
I was gonna say it's you lie on your bed and you whip out your controller and you play some StarCraft on the N64.
No, those days are gone. Okay, let's not go there. No, we don't do that anymore.
You and Jimmy all night long.
Oh God.
Oh man. Okay, so before we even get into anything, I was playing StarCraft and I beat the Wings of Liberty campaign last night. Woo! And I just want to say, I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. StarCraft, man. No, I don't know if you guys saw. I put out a tweet. To Blizzard. Like, can you please keep making RTS games, because nobody does it quite like Blizzard. It's like, I'm having so much fun with it. It's so tight. It's good.
But if you've got the best RTS game, why do you need another one? Like, if StarCraft 2 is the best, like, you're just gonna be disappointed, Michael. I don't want you to be disappointed. I don't think I could take that.
They can improve. There are things that they can improve on. It's the best thing we have right now until they make the next one.
That's how evolution works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't hold your breath for anything at BlizzCon, because I know we've got the schedule and it doesn't look like it's StarCraft this year, Michael. But you know, as the years
they have a panel on Saturday towards the end of the day, right?
Saturday night, right before the concert.
If this is World of Warcraft, then this would be Jaina shows up but gets shot out of the sky immediately. Like, doesn't save the alliance, just gets shot down. Like, this is what's happening right now.
No, what I'm saying is your year. It's not this year. It might not be next year, but it's going to be one of those years in the future. That's your year, Michael. And StarCraft will be up there first, and we'll be like, oh, Michael, we're so happy for you. And, you know, you just had your 45th birthday, and we're so happy for
45, holy crap. Jeez.
We're so happy for you that StarCraft is main staging. But no, we know what is main staging. We know it's been brewing, it's been simmering. Diablo is getting its
some love.
It's prime time.
Ooh.
Like that one. That one's for free. But I know in a couple of weeks we're gonna have like a real prediction show about BlizzCon where we sit down, the three of us, and we tell you what's going to happen before it happens.
I have a prediction for free.
Okay.
and that is that they will bring out Diablo for the Switch on the day that BlizzCon starts.
Is that not already confirmed?
Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, I probably should have said that a few weeks ago. Then.
Yeah.
That would have been a
Oh,
better
my.
prediction. That's how the prediction. That's how predictions work.
Okay. It seems like we're off to a great start.
Yeah, great start. So talking about a few weeks ago, I haven't been here for a few weeks, and I listened back to you guys sit down with Ryan a couple of weeks ago, and then last week where Ryan is just like one of those people where you're trying to close the bar, but he's still there. You're like, come on, man, we're trying to close.
The lights have been on for 10 minutes. That means it's time to go.
Giving him a little push. But he's like, no, I'm sitting here. So he was on for 2 weeks consecutively, and you pulled in Frasley as well from Frazzlecast and the Frasley Report, which plays at the end of the show every week. And gotta say, I really enjoyed last week's show. Just to highlight that, I mean, I enjoyed the show before, but I really enjoyed last week's show when you were sitting down talking about Classic, and I just got those feelings, man, when you guys were just like talking about Classic, and I was getting excited for Classic, and I just wanted more Classic. And I know you guys talked about the issues in World of Warcraft right now and how Classic might save everything. I was listening. I was like, no, Michael, I disagree with what you're saying, but I was just shouting out the streets of Canada, and people were just looking out the window and what is that guy doing?
What's he doing, eh?
So it's good. It's good to be back to voice my opinions when you're saying things I don't agree with, and it's good to be just sitting down on the squeaky bar stool, and I'm happy to be back. Happy to be in the Blue Recluse, and I missed you guys.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that, Blizzard? Classic is wanted so much, and it's so good that it makes our show sound good. That's what Tom is saying. He wanted to listen to us just because of Classic. That's how good it is. Modern Warcraft, dead game.
Vanilla, just that vanilla flavor. You mix it in with anything, and it might just taste like vanilla, which is okay.
What? Let's move on.
I just came back to break you guys.
My headphone fell out. That's what type of day it is.
I love the chat right now. Giggles is in the chat. Hi, Giggles, and she's saying, "Good story, Tom. Nice and classic. Not too long." That's thank you. That's the comment of tonight.
I've been penting it up for a couple of weeks, so I'm just here to release.
That's the show title right there. Good story, Tom. Nice and classic. Not too long.
Creepy! I like it!
Okay. So, like 2 weeks ago, before Tom went on his travels around the world.
Journey. Can we call it my journey?
Your journey. We actually some Hearthstone news happened, and we were like, because we thought you would be back last week, so we're like, let's save this news item for next week. And then the following week came, and you said, "Oh, I'm not going to be there." So we're like, "Oh, okay. So we'll save it another week, so you could have the honors of talking about this news item because it's Hearthstone related. It's for Hearthstone.
Yes.
It's a small blog post. I thought it was pretty cool because it shows what they're doing with Hearthstone at the moment, and what they're thinking, and I just thought it was a cool little update. It's always nice, I find, to hear what the developers have in store for us.
Yeah, or we can sit here and say developers aren't talking to us, and then when they do communicate, we can say you're not listening, you're not saying what I want you to hear. And yeah, no doubt, we've been fairly dominant in World of Warcraft talk for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you might say now, because the expansion came out. It's always the way in the Blue Recluse land, and it's no lie that we deal with the flavor of the month. But now that flavor of the month is tasting a bit strange, we are looking at other things, and Hearthstone. Hearthstone it's still out there, it's still doing its thing. And to be honest, I haven't been playing as much Hearthstone as I normally would. I've still managed to do my daily quests every 3 days. I log in and knock one off and keep
You
that
know
up
who's
to
been
date.
playing Hearthstone? You know who's been playing Hearthstone?
I think it's somebody who's not me, and it might be somebody beginning with M who's on the show.
That's correct.
And it's not Michael, so that really narrows it down.
I was playing the other
Really
day.
not.
What are you talking about?
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you got hang on a sec, because kind of last time we left this, I know Marty was visiting the bathroom way more than he should be, and he was playing a lot of Hearthstone. But did you take the advice to craft Whistlerbang? Did you craft Whistlerbang? And
Me?
has this? Yeah, you.
No.
Yeah, you
No,
haven't
I
crafted Whistlerbang, because
No,
I told
not yet.
Michael was in a weird headspace after the expansion where I told him to craft Whistlerbang. He went out, crafted Whistlerbang, and suddenly Whistlerbang all the time. And then we kind of told you to do the same thing, Marty, to maybe capture some love for Hearthstone, because it's a bit brainless, isn't it? It's like, what deck? I'll just play a Whistlerbang, and that decision has been made for me. But no, you're just jumping in anyway. You're
Yeah, I'm
playing...
just jumping in. I mean, it started with the puzzle thing. Boom. What's
Yeah,
it called?
Puzzle Labs.
Puzzle Labs.
The Puzzle Labs, yeah. And I still haven't completed it, but I haven't really touched it too much lately. But I actually jumped into some standard play and just, wrecking it.
Oh yeah.
Well, not really. I won a few, I lost a few. That's how it goes. But yeah, I actually jumped back in and played it, and I had fun.
Did you play this week? Because my favorite brawl came back this week. My favorite tavern brawl in Hearthstone.
No, when that came up, when that brawl came out, that's when I quit Hearthstone again.
Yeah, it's like Blizzard. I don't complain about things, because I usually like to find the positives in everything I do. And yes, Tavern Brawl is great. You can get a free pack every week. I really appreciate that. And there's some really great Tavern Brawls I like and would love to see playable again. Spiders Everywhere is not one of those. Spiders Everywhere is not one of my favorite brawls. And the positive I will take out of this is thank you, it wasn't the Banana Brawl. That's all I'll say. That is my positive. Thank you, it wasn't the Banana Brawl. Spiders Everywhere, it was a fun kind of class quest in the adventures when it came up one time. And it was fun maybe the first time we did that brawl, but I don't really like it. And I feel like there's other brawls that we could have instead of that. But okay. Shall I get into this blog post? And
Yeah, let's do
yeah.
it.
Okay, so we can move this on. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking through this blog. We're getting some new classic cards, and this is frustrating for me because I've almost completed my classic collection and acquiring a couple of new cards to make up for cards that are moving into the Hall of Fame. So they want to keep like the classic number of cards, kind of how it was at launch, and I think they're slowly introducing a few cards here and there to flesh that out. A couple for Mage, Warlock, and Rogue, which is interesting. And just looking at this, they're mainly common cards, but the Mage card, which is Icicle, which is a spell, which is deal 2 damage to a minion if it's frozen, draw a card. So they're just fleshing those out. I don't think they're like mind-blowing cards because they're just classic. They're supposed to be, they do something. You're probably not going to be going out and crafting them unless you want to complete your collection, which I've been trying to do. We keep adding classic cards now, but that's good. I feel like let's have a balance in the classic collection, because if you start moving cards into the Hall of Fame, eventually it's like, oh well, Warlock only has 2 cards now. It's like, what?
It's just so funny because then the naming is sort of weird now, right? Because how does a new card become a classic?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have this list of cards that didn't make it in initially, and they have this
to be in.
Yeah, this bench list of cards that they can pull into.
I think that they should just rename it to like base or something like that. Like these are your basic cards. Like these are your basic cards, and they're always going to be available.
Stop with the RTS talk. Stop with the RTS talk.
I'm sorry. I'm so into it. But yeah, I think it should be. First of all, I love the idea. I have not looked at the Hearthstone news because I wanted to hear it and then react to it as it came through. But I think that it's a great idea to expand that base set that you always have access to, especially as the game grows.
it's just kind of filling a couple of holes.
But they're new cards, right? Like
Yeah.
So I consider that expanding because they're expanding the pool that they're grabbing it from. And if you think about it, if they go to Classic, or not Classic, sorry, Wild, then you have an expanded base set. You have an expanded Classic because you have access to all those cards. So
you call it expanding. I call it filling holes. But I understand your point.
I'm not going to comment what I wanted to comment.
I like it.
But yeah, I think it's a great idea. Why not add cards that are, if some are removing, add some in. It adds a little bit of variety because it is something different. It might change up, however little, it might change up the deck building process and what people are considering as viable options in the new standard meta.
For sure. And these are coming in early November this year, so that's a time where there's not an expansion happening just yet. We'll probably get the expansion announcement for the third and final one for Hearthstone at BlizzCon. But these will come in at a point where we're quite a couple of months away from the last launch of the expansion, so the meta has settled down, and then we get this influx of a couple of classic cards, which I don't think is going to change anything that much, but it's something that I've always maybe wanted is, and I know Elder Scrolls Legends did it with, like, every month they introduced like one new card to the game, and that way it's like not going to completely shake it up, but somebody might say, oh, you know what, I could use this card in this deck and flesh things out that way. But I think it's it's gonna maybe change something with regards to newer players having access to more cards as well, which is important because the new player experience, which leads me into the extended ranking system, which is going to increase the new player experience. So we were used to starting off at rank 25, Angry Chicken, right? And if you've played the game like me, you haven't seen Angry Chicken for a long time. You've never seen that for a long time. But you take a break, you come back, you start off Angry Chicken. That's not going to change. It's not going to change for you, Marty.
In my case, you log into the game, Angry Chicken.
You never see anything else. You might see a leper gnome here or there, but otherwise, chicken is the way to go.
Is there ranks beyond Angry Chicken?
Well, it's like the higher rank, the better, right? I'm always on the highest rank.
I'm always 25. Well, in that case, Marty, I'm about to flip your world upside down because they want newer players not to enter that point of the ranking experience, because rank 25 is still a place where existing players can return to the game and start off from, and it still causes quite a lot of imbalance when newer players are trying to experience that for the first time. So what they're doing is they've created another 25 ranks. Whoa! And these are going to start from 50 all the way down to 26, but these are only going to be for new players. So people that have never touched the ladder before, they're going to start off at rank 50, and they're going to work their way down towards Angry Chicken Legend, which will then be the starting point really for them to probably get a more idea of what the ranking system is going to be like when they're kind of thrown in the pool of everyone else. But at the start, they're just going to be playing against new players, which I guess is a more gentle way to introduce people into that experience of ranking up, playing against other people with similar decks who don't have as big of a collection, perhaps, who are of a similar kind of mindset when it comes to the game. So I gotta say, the one thing a lot of people do say about Hearthstone is that new player experience, and we've kind of been sitting here waiting for them to create more ways to enhance that for newer players. And I guess it's strange as players that play quite a lot to want that as well, because it doesn't really benefit us, but it does get more people into the game. And I think Michael has a point.
I have a question actually about it.
Okay.
Is 25 ranks for new players, is that too much? I mean, how big is the player base that's going to be jumping in there? I feel like, I don't know the numbers, but I feel like there could be some long wait times there if they're trying to grind out like 25 ranks. Like, I don't know, it just seems like that's a lot. That's a large pool that you're hoping that there's a lot of people there to keep ranking up with.
I have an even better question. How do I get down there so I can get easy opponents?
Create a new account.
Break into the. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. We might see people smurfing. I don't think. No, I can't confirm this, but I don't think it's going to work. Like at rank 25, you need 5 stars to rank up. I have a feeling from rank 50 to 26, you're not going to need like 5 stars every rank, because that's it would be a
Ridiculous.
legend grind in itself to get to 25. But maybe it will be like 1 win. You need 1 win at each rank, and because I mean that would be like 25 wins, which that's still quite a lot to progress. You don't lose stars when you're progressing for this, so you don't fall backwards. So you're always progressing forward. So I could see it perhaps being you need like 25 wins overall, so you 1 win per rank to move forward. What was your question again, Michael? Do you think this is too many ranks, or just?
I don't know how they're like. So if we look at the ladder right now, the basic one, the rank 25 players usually we don't run into those rank 1 players, and those rank 1 players, like, they're really close within those top 5 or whatever, and those guys play each other, and then there's like another block of people that play each other, then there's another block of people that play each other, and I'm just wondering how big is the player base at that level that the people that are just jumping into the game, that they're gonna find consistent matches, because I don't know how big that player pool is, or how they're going to differentiate players to say, like, okay, is it just you've never touched the ladder, so now you're going to be rank 50? Because how many people have, like, never touched the ladder?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be people that have had an account but have never ranked up, or is it just going to be fresh accounts completely? And I guess that'll be something we'll find out when this goes live properly. As regards to like the numbers, again, that'll be interesting to see exactly the amount of people going into this, and I guess it will be something Blizzard will measure as well. They will get to see how people jumping into this rank side of things, how far do they go? Do they go all the way to 25, and then do they start actually playing ranked more compared to older players that came into the game and started at rank 25 and just gave up because it felt, it didn't feel fair. And I guess that will be more measurable data for them to, about getting people to stick as well. Kind of makes me also wonder, like, it would have been interesting if they had said, oh, so you start at rank 50, but maybe at like rank 40 you get a card pack, and at rank 35 you get something else, to keep people incentivized to keep going. Because right now it's just like, oh yeah, you need to win all these games before you can go on to this other ranking system, and then you go through all these 25 other ranks to become legend. And I don't know if that makes it seem more daunting. I mean, if you don't understand that, maybe it does, because now you're like, I have to do 50 ranks to become a legend.
Back in my day, we played just to play. Okay, we weren't given these handouts, card packs at every level. No.
Oh, I'm just talking about it from it, to incentivize people to keep playing. I'm not like, yeah.
And I get it, they're newer players, so you kind of want them to keep playing, and then also be able to grow their collection so they can stand a chance once they do get to level 25, because I'm at level 25 a lot of the times, but I am at like the whizzle bang, and I love it, and I jump in there, and I'm not a new player, I just suck at building decks. But you give me a deck, and I can usually figure out how to do things, and I understand the way the mechanics work. And I played a paladin, I think it was yesterday, and it was obvious that they had a pre-built deck, like one of the basic ones, and they really didn't stand a chance. Like, they were trying, but they had nothing going on.
Were you playing against me?
Probably. But yeah, it just, like, the cards that they had were not that great, and then it was obvious that they were newer, or at least just didn't understand the game as well, because they couldn't get any momentum at all. Or maybe I'm just OP.
You are.
Yeah, that could be.
I mean,
it.
we know the North American ladder is substantially easier than European.
How do you know this? I never see you online on the North American one. How do you know these things?
Oh, research.
Research. Yeah, okay.
Offline research.
I actually made myself a mage deck, and I did not win with it. And then those pre-built classic deck that you can make, I went with that, and then I started winning matches.
Not the classic deck, like just like a deck recipe, or just the classic.
Yeah, the built-in deck recipe called classic.
like the classic one, which is just like fireballs and a couple of.
Yeah.
It's just like the most plain.
Fireballs and
deck.
polymorphs. That's all you
Yeah,
need. How many times do I have to tell you? Fireballs and polymorphs.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yetis and
If it works, it works.
The good
yeah,
old chill
well,
Yeti.
true. I mean, so, we've seen like a lot of cards that were introduced to this game that people turn their nose up to come back because of just certain cards. You know, you got polymorph in your deck. Oh, I mean that deals with like carnivorous cube and weird death rattle crap that you know is floating around. It's just like yeah, polymorph's back, baby.
I love
I was gonna say one more thing. I can't remember what it was gonna be. Oh yeah, I think with Hearthstone as well, it's weird because if people do take breaks, especially from the ranked side of things, and then they come back, maybe after a few months, you know, they're way down the ladder, and then maybe they're playing against someone that is just new to the game. It's weird, and I guess I think these new ranks is probably a good idea just to stop that from happening, because even I find myself like if I don't really play either standard or wild for a while, and I've dropped down on one side of those, I go in and this game is just, you know, I can't find my feet, and that's more of an existing player problem. But I couldn't imagine how it would be for a new player as well, just going in there, and it would just be so demoralizing. And I guess correcting that feeling is going to be good, because you want people to feel good at the start of your game, and then once you've got them invested, that's when they can feel crappy because they've invested so much and they can't get out. Perfect marketing.
Make them feel crap when you finally have them in your net.
I'm trying to figure out how they do it, because I know other competitive games like I think Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft competitive scene, they have like MMR decay, where the more time you spend away from the game, the lower your ranking like slowly goes down, and you have to work your way back up to where you were. So it's not like if I was StarCraft Gold League and then the next I take a season off or something and then I come back in, I'm not playing against other Gold League players. Like I
feel like it's different in Hearthstone though, because you know, when I was younger, I'd play like Connect 4 or something, and if I go and play Connect 4 now, I'm still going to be good at Connect 4 because it's like, you know, it's more of a mental game, whereas something like Heroes of the Storm, you know, it's reactive. And
oh, okay. I was like, I'm interested to see where you're going here. Connect 4 is a more skill-based game than.
Yeah, it's more in the mental side of things. I feel like I can take a break from Hearthstone, but I'm always gonna be able to come back, and yeah, there's gonna be new cards, but I know the basic principles of card games now because I've been playing them for a while. Whereas something like Overwatch, you know, FPS or MOBAs, you know, I feel like I get really rusty when I've been away from something like that. I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, my
How do you shoot
reaction
again?
times are going off, and yeah, it's like getting, if you play Diablo and then you go to Heroes of the Storm, they change, it's a different mouse click for moving. You're like, oh no.
Oh yeah, that gets me every time.
When I play Diablo and I log back into World of Warcraft, and I'm sitting there clicking and wondering why my character is not moving.
Yeah. I have to identify this. No, it's already identified. No, forget about it. You're moving stuff around in your bags. You're like, yeah, but I need to. Oh no, different game.
I don't think we put it in the show notes, but I do want to bring something up really quick, and that is the deal that's going on right now for Hearthstone.
Oh yeah.
Which is if you could buy 10 classic packs and you get a random classic dragon legendary at a special price.
Yes, this is like a welcome bundle, which they did this last year, and you got a legendary and the 10 packs, and it seemed to go pretty well. Even I bought it, Mr. I don't spend money on video games anymore. Well, in-game transactions, and I was like, oh, this is a good deal. You know, this is too good to pass up. And again, they brought it out this year, and I'm of course I'm going to spend £4 to get 10 packs on a legendary. You know, that's just really good value, and that makes sense. I see a lot of value in that, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of do that. So yeah, definitely if you enjoy Hearthstone and you maybe haven't played it as much, or you're looking for something to really bolster your collection for very low cost, I mean, I think that is one of the most value for money purchases you can make in Hearthstone. If you're monitoring the budget, you don't want to spend too much on a card game, you get a lot of value out of that. So definitely recommend that too.
Yeah. I should probably do that because the
You buy anything, Maury, it's like
exactly.
I can
I'm
buy for
only,
this.
I'm only
There's a pay now button. Oh, I better press
I,
that.
I've only bought like 6 months of subscription to get an in-game mount World of Warcraft. So I mean, it's not like I've spent that much money lately on Blizzard. So
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's only $4.99 for the U.S. folks. It's
there we go.
$4.99. So
It's even cheaper for USA. So there
and
you go.
10 packs, like that's a good amount for $5. Like plus you get a free legendary. I got Nosdormu, which I did not have.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, you'll get
And
a legendary that you don't have. So just
Okay,
to
that's
clarify
nice.
as well, if you're gonna get a dragon legendary, and if you're somebody that owns all the dragons,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get a legendary that's not a dragon. You'll get something you don't
Okay.
have. I don't
Okay,
know
cool.
what happens if you
I mean-
own all the legendaries already, because you probably don't care about cards in that case.
Then you
But I
probably
just
won't
wanted
buy it.
Yeah, you probably won't buy
But no, I mean, I still don't have all the dragons from Classic, so yeah.
I'm just missing Lost Dormy now, actually, myself. So yeah, I got a Nixia.
let's trade. Oh wait, still not available there.
Three legendaries away from completing the classic set. And
Nice.
I don't know how I've managed. It's a bit of luck, couple of switcheroos in the crafting, but my 3 remaining legendaries are Nosdormu, Millhouse Mana Storm, and Nat Pagel. Probably the 3 worst legendaries in the classic set. So I'm like, yes, I have mastered this RNG. You know, it worked out pretty well. Yeah, it was pretty good, and that 10 pack has definitely brought me closer to completing that. Shall we finish up on the Hearthstone? Because I know we got a lot of other stuff to kind of talk on.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Just a few.
Let's get it over it. I'm
Get over?
just sleeping over here. So just
So in-game tournaments for Hearthstone, that's being put on pause. I know that's caused a bit of unrest because people were, really excited.
People took it calmly, right? It's not like that was.
Oh
something
yeah. You know, they're like, oh well, maybe they really want to have this perfect before they implement it, and it's going to take just a bit more time than expected. It seems like a lot of people take this hard, like it's a backward step, and I guess if you're going to announce something, like they're not saying they're not doing it, they're talking about
It's not
putting
like
it
the
on
dance
hold.
studio.
Yeah, I mean let's not even go there. That's still quite raw for many of us. But no, they're putting this one on hold. For whatever reason, time will tell. Probably with that. So again, that's something that's going to be in the future. I'm still very much looking forward to them doing that, and I still think that when they built Hearthstone, they weren't expecting it to go the way it did, and that is something that is going to take a lot of time. We've seen how I don't like using the word slow, but how things are implemented in Hearthstone, it seems to take a lot longer than maybe some of the other games that we're used to, and I just kind of feel like that's because it's mobile and it
feels like they
PC.
haven't discovered Google, right? They haven't discovered Google. They can't copy paste stuff.
copy paste the code and
like
press
all-
OK.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's on
Maybe-
hold.
Yeah.
That's on hold. There's a few other things, but I think I'll just end this with, because I know you enjoyed this last year, Marty, and it was the Hallows End event, which was an arena event where you went into arena, you picked a class, but then you also became another class. You picked another class. You picked 2 classes, and you became like a hybrid of 2 classes, and you went into arena, and it probably the best times in arena I've had in a couple of
Me too.
years, because
Me too.
you pick 2 classes, and then you pick cards around that, and then you could never predict what was going to happen. And most of the time it was like, wow, this is just, I could be a mage warrior, or I could be a mage priest, and building your decks around that as well took a bit of skill. It was quite fun being able to mishmash those combinations as well. I think it went down really well last year, so it's going to make a return for this Hallows End.
That's right about now, soon-ish, right?
Yeah, this starts on October 17th.
Yeah, so
And,
that's 10 days.
yeah.
10 days from now. Yeah, that's
And if I
great.
remember rightly, everyone got a free pass to go in there. Usually when they have these arena events, you get a ticket.
You get the
to-
first for free.
Yep, first hit for free, and then
I was about to say that
Uh,
too.
and a little tip actually, if if you have an existing arena run and you don't want to finish it, don't finish it. Don't finish that arena run if you've got one in progress, because once this event goes live, you'll get a ticket, another ticket for a free arena run, and you'll also get the pack associated to that, the rewards, I should say, for that run in progress. So in theory, you would kind of double your money if you paid like 150 gold for a run, and you don't finish it. You'll get another run for free, and you'll get the rewards tied into that as well. So it's a little trick, little sneaky trick that people do just to maximize, min-maxing, Marty. I know you were talking about that the last few weeks, how you like to do that, and that is one way you can get just a little bit more for your goals in Hearthstone when these events roll around.
I will do that. I'll do that right now on my phone where I have Hearthstone installed. Start an arena run.
Just right now, just while you're doing it.
I hear we're having some issues with Michael typing and not muting himself.
No. So I was communicating with the chat, and I muted it for the Discord so that the audio recording wouldn't hear it, and I forgot that the audio for the video stream comes from me. So the video people are just hearing me going crazy on it, but I fixed it.
So whatever I just said just now, that was the best secret in Hearthstone, and nobody heard it.
They heard it. They heard
I
it.
heard it. I heard it.
As long as okay, Marty, you will pass on this knowledge.
The chat wanted to talk about StarCraft stuff, and the Blue Recluse will not silence that.
We met our quota for StarCraft talk.
What do the chat wants to talk about, and why does my chat not update?
Your chat doesn't update because they know that you are not cool with StarCraft talk, so they didn't want you to be a part of it. It's mainly a lot of competitive stuff going on.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, let's move on to something else.
Cool story, bro.
Wow.
Let's move from one competitive thing to another competitive thing, and that is that we all know that Method won the race.
I haven't watched the season finale of that. Don't tell me what happens.
Okay, we will.
I'm kidding, of course.
Okay. Okay. Moving on. No, and this past week we had, well, not we did, but Final Boss TV had a Method on a little interview about the
guild.
No, just three people.
All of them were there. All of
them. Which is I don't know. I think the race to world first is something I find interesting, but I don't follow it too much. But I think it has this year has been amazing. I've followed everything, just because it's been so much more transparent, and they had the live stream, and I just found it so much more interesting to follow this year. And so when I saw this interview, I was like, oh yeah, I actually know those three people now. I've seen them from Method. I've seen them on the stream and things like that. So I jumped in, watched the interview, and yeah, it was just pretty interesting because it gives a little bit more insight to how Mythic hardcore world first rating works, and I just thought that was a bit interesting. And then
it pains me to say it. Sorry to chip in here. It pains me to say it. Back on 205 when you had Ryan on the show, it pains me to say it, but I agree with this being like a change in the wind with how this is all being documented, because Method of, and I know he said something about like Asian guilds had been live streaming this, but when you've got like the best coming in and doing it, people then suddenly take note, like, oh yeah, other people were doing it well, the best weren't doing it, and now they've done this, and it seemed to gain a lot of traction. You saw the numbers on Twitch. World of Warcraft was, it was up there. It was at the top. Everyone was talking about this event, even if they weren't watching it, they were still talking about it happening.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe now, and maybe they don't get the sponsors, but the teams around them might start being like, you know what, we have to jump on this train as well. We have to jump on this as well, because we have to make this something more than just Method, because Method have all the limelight now, and they're probably going to do this for the next going forward. This is what it's going to be like now. And Ryan said something about other guilds getting involved in this, so it kind of creates this even bigger picture when you've got kind of multiple guilds kind of in the same realm, in the same, or EU, NA, and we get to see all those guilds where they're at, and how they kind of show off their progression as well. And I think times are going to change with that very drastically.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And I mean, I think this just showed that people are there to watch it. People actually want this form of content. Even I read a summon up of on Wowhead where they would talk about how many people watched it. And Sko's stream. Sko is the guild leader of Method, and his stream was the most viewed, well, the second most viewed stream on Twitch while the World Forest was going on, only beaten by the championships, some championship for CSGO. If that championship hadn't been in that week, then World of Warcraft World First Race would have been the most viewed thing on Twitch, and I think that's pretty amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna read this comment in chat. It's a differentiating opinion. It's from Alessander, and she said the Method Mythic live stream was super exciting until it started. They needed professional casters who are able to talk about what we see without spoiling it, and not the guys that had reading chat comments. So annoying, it ruined the race for me. And I respectfully disagree right there, Alessander. In the beginning, I agree it was a little bit lackluster. It didn't seem like they had it together. But towards the end, I felt like, one, I liked that they interacted with the chat. Because something like this, you need to, because it's not exciting to watch them do the same pool hundreds of times. It's just not that interesting to watch. And if all they're doing is telling you, like, okay, they messed up that, like, it's not that exciting. People actually had some pretty good questions and they were talking to the chat. I appreciate that, for one. And two, they did have people that understood what was going on. They had one of the bench players and he was explaining things. He was answering questions that people had about the game and certain things. How do you feel about the healers thing going on here? And they were giving their input. I actually really enjoyed that aspect of it. And of course, we talked about this. There's room to grow. Okay, there's room to grow. And I think that I find the factual information. I don't want a professional esport necessarily to go into there because they're just going to make it hype in parts that it doesn't really need to be hype. And you see it in other esports too, where everyone's like, I love this one because they're always so into it. And then you're like, yeah, but they're into it in a port that, like, you don't really need to be into it. Like, that really wasn't that exciting.
Look at the character select screen. Oh my god.
Yeah, like, I appreciate it for what it was, and I actually did not think it didn't ruin anything for me. I enjoyed it. It's a growing thing. I enjoyed the people that were there, the information that was given. I felt like I was able to actually follow what they were doing because the information that they were giving me. I don't know how much you watched of it, but that was my take from it.
Yeah,
I think,
sorry.
Are you gonna agree with Michael, or?
Yeah, a little bit, because
Okay.
I mean, I definitely.
And then I'll disagree with you both.
Okay, I definitely think that if you only watched the first day or something like that, or in the beginning, then I mean they had a lot of technical difficulties and things like that. The first day and a half or something like that. So if that's what you watched, then obviously I can understand why it probably wasn't as interesting as you thought it might be. But I actually followed it here and there a few hours while I was at work on my second monitor every day. And I could definitely see that, first of all, they got better and better at figuring out what they wanted to do, because they have the commentators hadn't done this before, so they slowly figured out what they needed to do to make this entertaining. And second of all, they started, because not all of them knew each other beforehand, so they sort of warmed to each other as well as co-host. And I think that's really important as well, that the people who are interacting with each other, get to know each other as well. So I definitely think that where they ended up on the last day was a decent place.
Definitely.
They can still do a lot more. They can do so much more. I totally agree. But considering that this was an experiment, they even said that in the interview, that they didn't expect the numbers. They just wanted to experiment with this, and if it didn't work, then they hadn't lost anything. Then they'll just drop it going forward. But it was such a huge success, and I can definitely see them evolve this to something even bigger. And I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I kind of agree that if you watch this in the first couple of days and you made your kind of decision of what that was going to be like going forward, and I know I tuned in kind of the first day or so, and it was like, oh, this is, they're having technical problems, but we obviously we're nowhere on kind of the same spectrum here, but we stream stuff sometimes, stuff goes wrong, and it's easily done that internet connections and stuff, and the realm of the internet stuff can go wrong. So you kind of give that a bad ball. I think the thing that kind of made me scratch my head when I tuned in at this specific moment was one of the guys. I don't know if he was the raid leader or something, but he started talking about how the event was sponsored by Red Bull, and they had been given all this Red Bull, and he loved Red Bull, and he had also been awake for a long time, and he drank a lot of Red Bull. And if he passed out and had a heart attack, it was probably because of all the Red Bull he had just consumed. And I was like, wow, you just said that. You just said that about your sponsor. And yeah, I mean, I feel like things like that, there's still questions of the professionalism when it comes to esports. And I think we could probably go every week where we're like, oh, somebody said something or they've done something in the realm of esports. You could probably talk about real sports as well.
I mean that was the reality for a while in Overwatch, right? Where just like every week something new happened. Someone said something stupid or things like that. I mean, but that's also just it's new as well for them. So,
I think like one of the biggest things that we keep mentioning here is that it is new. It's different compared to even anything else that's going on right now. Because if you look at it, like Alessandro in chat is comparing it a lot to StarCraft and how the casters are there. And I think one thing that's really different here is that StarCraft 2 has been around for almost 10 years, and the casters, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end portion. And it's always going to go one way or another. Or you have a presumed idea of what's going on, and you can speak about, oh, they made a mistake because they were a little bit slow on this, while a rating environment is one that you're not there for the moment by moment necessarily, because you're there for the long haul. It's not something that you're expecting to happen right away. Like if you go in there and you're just expecting like, I need to see this boss go down right now, well then you're going to be disappointed. It's not going to have that fast-paced action necessarily that you're going to see in like Heroes of the Storm or StarCraft, or even if you look at like games like League of Legends or things like that. You're waiting for the end moment. You're waiting for the pop-off moment.
That's how a lot of looking for raiders feel like. I'm going in here and this boss has to go down straight away, and I have to just stand here and look at it.
Yeah. Who knows?
I was getting distracted by the referral to
American I didn't know that I didn't think we were gonna get to that. I'm not even gonna comment on all of that. This is not the place for that. So no.
Okay,
yeah, anyway,
this is a Blizzard podcast, and we are 3 people talking about Blizzard games, and yeah, there's stuff happening out in the world that there's probably a million podcasts you could go listen to and get some viewpoints. We choose to ignore that, and we're in our little bubble of safeness.
What I wanted to talk about, actually, since I brought up.
Well, let's talk about the president. Let's talk about.
No, let's not. Let's just go.
No, let's talk about the president, Michael.
Okay, Michael. Okay.
No.
The only president that matters.
Stop, because we're not done with this method thing, because that was
sorry.
That was one reason why I brought it up. It's none of the things that we're actually talking about. Something I thought was really cool. I actually thought we only spent like 5 minutes on this segment, and now the show is almost over. But I just, when we talked about how we imagined what could happen, was that maybe one thing that could happen is that Method or any of the other guilds who will be streaming in the future, maybe that they could get help from from people watching, like, hey, maybe they didn't see that thing happening in the raid, so then the chat will help out with this, and those things did happen. But what I thought was pretty cool was that when they do these kind of raids, then obviously they have to, sometimes they switch out characters to other classes to bring like a certain thing to a fight. And in this case, it was that one of their main hunters, Gingy, who had to switch to his rogue, who was a little bit little bit under-geared, a little bit badly geared for this encounter, and doing between one of the polls, Genji then said, "Hey guys, wait a second, summon me back in 5 minutes because there is a viewer out there who's watching the stream right now who wants to donate me some BOE gear so I can actually get some better gear." And I thought that was pretty amazing. It's something I didn't even think about could happen, and yeah, that's just cool, I find. And is it cheating? Is it cheating?
Yes.
No. No.
There we go. No debate. Just yes or no.
Or no.
I think it's a morally gray area, isn't it? Because
Well, technically,
technically it's somebody from the outside of the guild.
yeah, but I mean, they could have bought it from the auction house as well if they really wanted to, if it was on the auction house. So I don't know. I guess they could have technically paid him for it.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I guess it's like, say you're in sports, and then a company's like, "Hey guys, do you want to use these boots for this game?" Or it's like almost having a sponsor, and just I know it's weird.
That's
isn't
a
it?
weird
That's
comparison.
weird. Yeah, terrible. Sorry, my head's a bit jumbled, but no, I think it's going to be a strange space where if this does take off to even the next level, if you've got people like going, "Oh hey, take my piece of gear, shout out my name," and we just got this weird place where people are giving away their gear and giving away potions or anything like that. Maybe people have all these fans that they want to help so much that they're contributing in ways that you wouldn't even think about, and then that creates a whole new fear of like, oh well, Method's supporters got kind of 4,000 herbs from this guy called John the Panda, the neutral panda, and he's giving them all these herbs all the time, all this peace bloom, and that's probably been the deciding factor here, Jim. What do you think? And I don't know, that's probably something the esports casters could talk about for if they're trying to fill 5 minutes, talk about if this herb situation, the herb scandal, Herbgate, actually played a big part in
every team is just gonna have like a separate group of farmers that like farm all the stuff, and they they funnel it to them.
Yeah, when they're on stage picking up the World Cup, they're like, I want to thank God, I want to thank Mom and Dad, I want to thank our farmers as well over in the corner sitting on a hay bale.
I'd like to thank Jackal256 for all the herbs that they sent us.
Yeah, I mean that's weird. That is weird. But interesting that so many stories have come out of this, and I think the fact that we're still talking about this after it's done, because usually the conversation is X guild got world first,
it's over,
it's done, that is it, you draw the line. But now we're talking about, well, how could they improve on this, how could they make this better? It seems to be that it's gone down pretty well. Even people that generally find watching World of Warcraft on Twitch kind of boring, because I'll be honest, I don't really like watching people play World of Warcraft. I would rather play World of Warcraft, but I even tuned in for a bit and clicked through a couple of the streams to see what they were doing and what it was about. It got me interested enough to do that. No, I wasn't completely hooked that I was following it throughout the days, but then I know like you were talking about it, Marty, and then we were like, oh, they're at this. We like knew exactly where they were with regards to progress, so it created more awareness behind that as well. And I think, if you look at it like that, it seems like it was a big success.
Yeah,
for a first-time effort.
The only World of Warcraft stream I watch is Michael when he loots a weapon from a raid and is overly happy about it.
That's right. It's not overly happy, okay? It's a proper amount of happiness.
proper amount of happy. All right, let's talk about the president.
Yes, the president. Now, come on, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about the president. Time to talk about the president. Our president, Mr. Mike Morhaime.
Mr. Mike Morhaime, the only president that matters. The only president that did matter.
That's right.
Our favorite president, and he stepped down.
He's gone.
He's not gone.
They nerfed him. They nerfed him to the
They
ground.
nerfed Mike Morhaime. He's no longer president.
Yeah, holy crap, guys. On a day where people's phones were getting alerted to presidential updates. The presidential update that needed to be out there was Mike Morhaime stepping down as president of Blizzard Entertainment. And he's still going to be an advisor, so he's almost like the Tony Stark now of the Avengers. He's like, yeah, I'm not part of the Avengers, but I'm still going to tell you kind of what to do. Maybe. We don't know how, kind of what level that's going to be. But wow, it feels like over the last couple of years, I've just been shell-shocked by announcement of Blizzard employee moving to something else or stepping down or something like that. I mean, we had Chris Mattson, we had Ben Brode this year, and we had kind of a lot of people in the Hearthstone team.
Other people, but I don't know. It just seems to. I just Chris Mattson, Ben Brode, now Mike Morhaime. I feel like that's when you think of Blizzard, like you have these images of people in your head, and somebody like Ben Brode and Chris Mattson over the last kind of 5 years. I just think that a lot of the World of Warcraft community is looking forward to the day when Iron steps down. At the moment.
Gosh.
Sorry.
I don't understand why people take it so personally. The people, they're making a game, they're making a product, and it's a product that works. Like it's working. There's changes that need to be made within a game, but these changes don't happen overnight. And
no, and
to be asked to be communicated. And I don't want to take us talk about Mike Morhaime because I feel like this is huge news. But I know you guys have talked about it kind of the past few weeks. But there is not overnight fixes for everything. Some things take time. Obviously, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. And in business, it's not just a simple matter of fact of, yeah, this doesn't seem to be working. Let's change this straight away. Let's react to everything. It's when you react to everything, like as it happens, like you're gonna end up in a bad place. Just like a social media, for example, when somebody reacts to something that's just happened, next thing you know, they're probably in trouble. But yeah, I don't want to get started about that.
No. I think there's quite a few videos already out there you can find on YouTube or other podcasts where they go in depth with all that happened with the Azerite gear and lore posting and all that. And I agree with you, Tom, that Blizzard know this is not in a where the game is right now is not in a good position, and they're working on it, and they have like some short-term fixes, and soon we'll hear about some long-term fixes as well.
Or maybe it's a crap show. Maybe it is a crap show. That's why Mike Morhaime's like, I'm getting out of this mess.
Yeah, no. Okay.
I mean, even I joked about it that it's because of the Azerite gear you had to step down because this is so bad. But no, it's
because he wants to work on the band. Okay, Elite Tauren Chieftain. They're leaving Blizzard so that they can go into the recording booth, get ready for BlizzCon, and then go on tour. Okay, that's what's going on here.
I know what it was.
Inside scoop. Got it here first.
Mike Morhaime has got really close to... What's the guy from Nintendo, Michael? I always forget his name.
Which one? Reggie?
Reggie. So
oh no.
What we didn't see on that Nintendo Switch announcement was the after call where Reggie confessed his love to Mike Morhaime and said, "Like, I need you at Nintendo. I need you at Nintendo. I need you."
No,
Mario.
They're gonna start a new television show, and it's gonna be called Reggie and Mike.
Reggie and Mike show.
So the big question that is on a lot of people's minds, among other geekos who listen to the show, is so what will change?
Everything. I feel like we are kind of not really giving any substance right now, but I feel like we're kind of in shock because I know this was announced. I wasn't expecting this. Like for example, when Ben Brode left Blizzard this year, I was like it stuck something in me that I don't know. It was just like, oh, right in the heart.
Betrayal.
And Mike Morhaime stepping down as well, because this is like the face of Blizzard. This is the guy that stands up every BlizzCon, and he's really softly spoken guy, and really just you wouldn't think he's the president of Blizzard Entertainment because he's just so kind of reserved and just calm, and he's just says his thing. We're like, oh, Mike, you're such a nice guy. I'd like to take you out for a beer or something.
one thing that I really enjoyed since this news came out was all the people tweeting about him and all the nice stories coming out. And one tweet I just loved was this guy who met Mike at a random party or something, and he was just casually asking, "Oh, so who are you and what do you do?" And Mike Morhaime said, "Well, I'm Mike Morhaime. I'm the CEO of Blizzard, and I run things." And then he took because obviously nerds as they were, they had Guitar Hero at the party, so he put on the guitar and started just just playing on the hardest difficulty for bass. And I was just like, I could totally imagine him just be like that, like just oh, I'm the CEO, and then just be the biggest nerd on Guitar Hero. That's so
So
cool.
now we know he's giving up Blizzard Entertainment to pursue his career as a professional Guitar Hero esports. And I know in chat we're being asked to cite our sources. Michael?
Selena put in there that she put StarCraft 2 because at the end credits of Wings of Liberty, they have like their little rock song in there, and I think it's from the same guys that do the Elite Torn Chieftain. It's like a StarCraft theme thing though, so that's what she's saying there. But I have a real question, and that's, will we get one more Mike Morhaime speech at BlizzCon?
Yeah, that is.
Because that's the biggest thing. It's weird, but that's the biggest thing for me, is that I always look forward to hearing Mike Morhaime at BlizzCon, and I always felt like it's kind of like with Metzen, and they left before BlizzCon, and I wanted like hear them speak like one last time, like to the community as a whole, like especially in that environment. I think like that's the way to go out, like in front of the ones who aren't going to like pin you to the wall on Reddit, and like speak to the crowd that's there for the good things that you've put out there.
Imagine
Like,
he just steps up in the open ceremony at the end. He's just like, "Oh yeah, and I quit." And then just drops
the mic for the last time. I'm dropping it
to the floor. He picks himself.
Drop the mic. I feel like that should be the show title.
I think it should be. It's too good to not be. Yeah, no, I wonder as well, Michael. I mean, I'm like, is he gonna get? Because
I don't think so.
It feels a bit
I don't
weird that
think
he
so.
would be, because he's, it's like,
I get it, I get it, but
Here's
no.
former president of Blizzard Entertainment.
I don't think so. I mean, because J. Allen Bragg, we didn't even mention that J. Allen Bragg is taking over the position, so it would not be fair to him. I think he should, because he's the president. He should be the one.
Probably going to be, exactly, because we're moving forward. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to say as well.
Yeah.
It should be like the Olympic torch. Like Mike Morhaime should hand it off to him at BlizzCon on the stage.
Yeah.
That is quite a torch, isn't it? Wow. Ooh, here you go.
Have fun. Okay.
Off to the Bahamas.
We have one question. We have a view. Not well. Ask us a question. Question. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yes. Over on our Discord, we like to take questions from our people on our Discord. And this week, the lovely Giggles asked us. Well, she asked us quite a lot of questions about J. Allen Bragg and the future of Blizzard and Mike Morhaime stepping down, which we kind of covered. But one question she did ask that we haven't covered yet is, what do you think J stands for in J. Allen Bragg? And the most important question here is this one.
J. J-A-Y.
Oh,
J, so you're
going for the Homer Simpson one, the Homer J. Simpson.
I think it stands for Justice Points, and I feel like when
What?
J. Allen Bragg stands on BlizzCon, he's going to tell us how he's going to fix World of Warcraft, and they're bringing back Justice Points, because that was a big thing. that was when Warcraft was in its good times. Justice Points, we could just farm that stuff, we could go get our gear, and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm Justice Points Allen Bragg, and I'm here to change the future by bringing back the past. And that's all he's going to say. People are going to be like, yeah, I can get behind this. Give me some of those sweet Justice Points.
I have nothing that good. I actually I took it seriously and just have a name. No, actually, mine was John.
John?
I think it's John. It's either John or Julian. That's right. Just as
Cool.
points.
That's that answered. I think that's all we had for this week.
On that note.
So, actually, fun fact. To start this next segment, I actually have to press the letter J.
Last orders! Last orders!
Right before we recorded this show, we recorded another show. It's called Nerd This, and we are talking about lots of cool stuff. Isn't that right, Michael? What did we talk about on the show?
We talked about.
I already forgot.
Oh, way to interrupt me as I'm saying it.
That's how old I am.
Speaking of old, we talked about 80s movies and some of our favorites, some of our not so favorite reboots of awesome 80s movies, but it was all 80s themed. It was pretty awesome.
It sure was. After this show, there will be the Freshly Report, so stay around for that. Let us know your thoughts about anything we talked about on this episode, or if you have your own questions, feel free to contact us. Tom, you're back. How do people do that?
You can email the show at thebluereclusepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on social media at the Blue Recluse, Facebook, Instagram, Friendster, MySpace, all that junk. We're over there. And come onto our Discord, just like Giggles did today, over at thebluerecluse.eu/Discord, where you can talk about Blizzard games. You can ask a question, and we will give you an insightful, intelligent answer. Definitely do that. You can find us on iTunes. You can leave us a review there. We love that. We're also on Patreon, where you can support the show and continue funding us. Because we have to do extensive research to find legitimate sources to talk about on the show. So we definitely need help with that. And you can find all that information and more on thebluerecluse.eu or thebluerecluse.com.
There we go. And that's it. We have nothing else to say, I think. The show's over.
Is this the part where we say, take it away, Frasley?
Sure.
Okay. Take it away, Frasley.
Welcome to the Frasley Report, a short news report by me, Frasley, the awesome gnome, to deliver your World of Warcraft news. So there's been a lot of exciting BlizzCon news this week. The first bit is that the schedule for this year is now out. Diablo and StarCraft 2 get What's Next panels, and even though I made a joke with Michael from the Blue Recluse, a StarCraft podcast got a panel as well. The Pylon Show will be live at BlizzCon as a panel. I just hope we don't see another box this year. That was a disappointment. So then also, they announced that WoW Classic will have a demo this year, playable at home. It'll be playable from the 2nd to the 8th. We have found out that there was a limited test of a new device to experience BlizzCon virtually in a new way. It is called BlizzCon 9D, a few extra dimensions just because. So we can experience BlizzCon live from our house. Smell the BO, experience the sounds, get the sickness. I have it in the studio right now. Let's put it on and see if it's working. Whoa. Oh, wow. It's getting ready for the Orange County Auto Show. Oh, that's so cool. It's working right now. Wait, how am I here? Oh, a vending machine. Wonder if they have a Hot Pocket. Okay. Oh, no, I don't have any money. I can't buy this Hot Pocket. So the one thing that this BlizzCon 9D won't have, you cannot buy things and you can't eat things with this. So make sure to have food ready. Hey, you over there, a custodian. Hi, how are you doing today? Wait. Oh, I understand why. Look at my arms. I'm a robot. That explains why this person ran away screaming. Okay. Wow, this is going to be really cool. A really cool way to experience BlizzCon. Let me see if I can ride the escalator. Yay! This is fun. I like escalators. Woo! There's an elevator. Wait, no. Azeroth Roundtable told me about elevators. We'll never take them again. Elevator, stay there. Okay, well, I guess it's time for me to head back to the studio because there's really not much here. I mean, the whole convention center is closed. Wow, that is going to be a really cool way to experience BlizzCon. And I am one of the first people to ever try this. So check your email if you have access to this. It's going out to a limited number of people, and they will be sending out these devices this month to be at your house in time for the event. It should be a lot of fun. Wait a second. Someone stole my wallet!